Hello, welcome to Fridays at 4 on twitch.tv/DDO stream. I'm your community manager, Kurt Oven, and I'll be with you for the next hour, hanging out in-game. Gonna do a little bit of questing, and I do have a little bit of news for you to start the show off with as well. So welcome, everyone. Hope you're having a good start to your weekend if you're there yet, and if you're not there yet, well, hope you soon have a good start to your weekend. And otherwise, hope you're having a good time inside of the game. Quick reminder that our bonus this week is double Mysterious Remnants, so that means twice the chance for Mysterious Remnants to appear when defeating champions, and that's through Sunday, July. That's what month it is, I believe. 16th. Otherwise, I think for a bunch of people, this is going to be a hardcore weekend, because this is your final weekend to run the hardcore league. Let me go and switch cameras. There we go. So I did want to just quick mention. Let me put up this webpage here. All right. Yeah. So this is the final weekend of the Hardcore League. It runs through Tuesday, being shut off at 9 a.m. Eastern on Wednesday, July 19th. So you have until then to spend down your Astral Shards, earn any rewards you want to earn, and make sure to speak to the NPC in the Hall of Heroes to get your stuff before the end of the season. And then we're going down for maintenance next Wednesday, typical Wednesday restart from what I understand. And then afterwards, we've got the after party starting. That's a chance to do whatever you need to do, get your stuff onto a character and transfer them to a regular game world if you want to. And you will have through August 15th to do that. Double checking my date. Yes, through Tuesday, August 15th is the after party, and that too shuts down at 9 a.m. Eastern on Wednesday, August 16th. So, make sure to get your stuff off by then, but really this is the final weekend for Hardcore, so if you haven't done it yet, do it now, get your stuff, claim your rewards, and then we'll see you next time around for Hardcore Season 9, which, will happen here at some point in the future, but nothing to announce about that one here today. I will say, I have a little bit of breaking, it's breaking news. So probably the most important thing that I could put up here today would be this. We are getting ready to announce the pre-purchase campaign for Vecna Unleashed, and that is tentatively set for Wednesday, July 26th. So Wednesday, July 26th is our current slated start date for the Update 61 Vecna Unleashed pre-purchase campaign. And on that Wednesday is when we're going to have the information about what's in all the packages and what you can get. And it'll have at least in the legal disclaimer somewhere, it's going to have a tentative release date for Vecna Unleashed as well. But I could say we're currently slated for, before I say that out loud, let me double check that. Yes, we are currently slated for August on Vecna Unleashed, so the pre-purchase campaign starting July 26th, the expansion happening potentially in August here, and we'll have a lot more information as we get closer to it. As I talk here today, I figured I would just put up, this is the key art for Vecna Unleashed, sort of one of the main images of Vecna Unleashed that we'll be using for our campaign. And so I'm just going to have this hanging on the screen while we chat. So let's see. Got Hardcore taken care of. Got Vecna Unleashed taken care of. I would mention we had a very small patch this week, update 59.4. The main point of this week's patch was a browser window fix. The in-game browser window has been updated to a newer version. You can resize it. Now there is a known issue where if you resize it too much, the images, the icons, aren't displaying correctly. But that's if you make it exceptionally big or exceptionally small, and we'll be getting that one fixed in the future. There's a few other behind-the-scenes bits that were in Update 59.4 that didn't warrant a release note because there was nothing public-facing about them. that have to do with us getting ready for the release of Vecna Unleashed, and also getting ready to debut the updated DDO store. I don't have a release date yet for you for the updated DDO store, but the intention is it should also be happening in August. So, a little bit of news there. And again, that's mostly a visual refresh and some kind of behind-the-scenes business side things. But for the most part, it's a visual refresh of the DDO store, and it's going to have a little bit of new functionality. Some more robust bookmarking, definitely a new look, a little bit of a new feel to it as well. And it's going to have a few bits like we can do some coupon codes for sales and things that we couldn't do under the old store infrastructure. But for the most part, it's going to be the same DDO store that you know. It's just going to look different. Sales this week are Make Your Mark on the World. Get 25% off select marks, crafting success boosters, Caneth essences, collectibles crates, and that's through the 20th. And then the free coupon this week is a free Lesser Experience elixir. So, hey, free XP, go take it. Lesser EXE is the coupon code name, and that's all through July 20th. So, I think I cruised through all the news in the first 5 minutes. So let's just sit for the next 55. I'm kidding. But that's what we got going on. Yeah, so it'll be through August 15th on the after party for the hardcore season, and that'll go down when we go down for our weekly maintenance on the 16th. We'll have more information about what is in Vecna Unleashed as we launch our pre-purchase campaign. And the start date for the after party will be when we come up from maintenance on next Wednesday. So hardcore season ends at 9 a.m. We're doing our weekly maintenance, and when it comes back up, the hardcore after party will be underway. So just make sure you've spent your Astral Shard balances before then. And gotten your stuff. I have to move this microphone. Sorry. It's not going to sound as good. My microphone stand broke. I don't have a new one. I tried to get something working here earlier today, using taping it down and such, but that's not working either, so just going to have to roll with what I got, which is a non-functional microphone stand. Alright. I believe that is Morgrave University in the background. I would have to double check, but I'm pretty sure that's correct. Also, welcome everyone from Voodoo Spices channel. Nice to see you here. Do I know if VIPs will be able to buy things like quest packs while VIP? No, they will not. There's no major functionality changes with the updated DDO store. It really just has to do with giving the thing a visual refresh and then some kind of business stuff behind the scenes. Well, so that's the problem, Nymphind. I had an old mic stand. I actually have several old mic stands, but they're all garbage. They're all worn out. The one I had, which was a floor standing one, just the knuckle got all stripped out of it, and so it was just flopping over. And I've got a desktop stand, but this microphone is too heavy, and it makes the desktop stand flop over. So I tried to fix it with some double-sided tape and duct tape and what have you, but that isn't working either, so okay. Guess I'm going to have to go to Amazon or something and spend too much money for a new mic stand. I don't have a good situation here, because like the desk stand type that have the big weight in the bottom isn't heavy enough to handle a USB 2080 USB 2020. The clip-on desks would work, except my desk kind of is old and I don't have a really good place to bring it over across the monitors. And the floor standing ones was what I was doing, except that they just get in the way all the time, and the one keeps on getting stripped out, so I don't have a good microphone stand. I think I may actually just move to a headset mic and just say try forget this for a while. Headset mics are probably good enough. So, can we nerf Strimtom? He is so OP. No. Yeah, so the problem with the Vice Grip ones for the desks is I don't have a good place to put it because I have 3 monitors on my computer, and so none of them go across the desk and then can get over to where I sit, maybe 3-4 feet away, without either falling over or buying a more expensive one that has the strength, but then I can't wind it through the monitor, and then it's in the way of my screen and all the other kind of thing. I could try one on the side. I had that going for a while, but that didn't work very well either. So none of them work. Floor standing is probably the easiest, but then I just had this giganto mic stand hanging next to me all the time, taking up room. I didn't like that either. So. There will not be new archetypes in Vecna Unleashed. The main thing that you're aware of in Vecna Unleashed will be the Macrotechnic Epic Destiny. That'll be in the pre-purchase offer. One of the pre-purchase offers, at least, there. Yeah, no, most streamers like the mic in the frame, and I'm not opposed to it, but it does get in the way, right? If it's in front of my monitor, I'm like constantly trying to do this or something, and like I said, I just haven't found a good solution. What I need to do is spend $1,000, get a new desk, get some new monitors, get a new mic stand, and then solve the problem. But I don't want to spend $1,000 on all that stuff. I want to use the stuff I have. So here we are. So, Axel, if you have a boom arm that's like a weighted base kind that sits on the desk, I'd love to get a link to that thing, because that's what I would ideally like. But even the ones that say that they're for heavy mics, they still, because I need to have, like here's the base, it needs to go out like this, it still just falls over on me all the time. So. You know what, Kaleva? That's not true. You are a liar. Duct tape does not work, as a matter of fact. I've been using duct tape. And both on the Lotro side at noon today and just now on the DDO side, my duct tape is not working. I'm going to have to drill a hole in the desk, I think. Just do it that way. Oh, I said and bubblegum. You're right. I missed the bubblegum part. Duct tape and bubblegum will be the combiner there. So, well, my desk is old too. My desk is about as old as DDO is. So, whew, it's hot in here today. All right. Macubre, will the problem that keeps cropping up with logging into the forums be permanently fixed, or will it be a continued issue with each downtime? It's happened twice, so it's not like it happens all the time. The downtime associated with the maintenance was related to the maintenance. The login issue after the maintenance was a one-off that should hopefully not happen again. But can I promise that the forums will never experience unintended downtime? No. It is definitely possible that at some point in the future, the forums may be briefly not visible. Or not able to log into on certain devices. I'm actually considering, though, because it really upset a few people this week when the forums were down for maintenance during the maintenance window. I think I'm just going to add that to the regular weekly maintenance. That sometimes the forums will be down as part of the routine maintenance that happens on Wednesday mornings. So that is something that can be expected occasionally. All right. Did we preserve an archive of the old forum content? The old forum content remains available at forums-old.ddo.com, and it'll remain in a read-only state long term. Yeah, so Streamtime, I had done that too, where I actually that's what stripped it out. Is I ended up tightening the springs on the kind of clamp desk so much that I ended up stripping all the threads off the thing. It lasted for like 4 years or so, but it finally died. And then my standalone mic stand did the same thing. So, ugh. All right, well, you know what? Enough about my microphone problems. Let's move into the game. I'm just doing a little bit of questing. This is on Wayfinder. I've got a character that I'm very slowly on stream here, leveling up to 32. So I'm just kind of running bits and bobs that I haven't run yet. And one of the bits and bobs that I haven't run yet is Black and Blues. So let's check that one out here today. This one doesn't have a long jumping section, I don't think, so we should be good. Alright.
The Chamber of Arganessen assigned an agent named Erdnoth to guard several powerful artifacts in this area. But Erdnoth hasn't reported in for some time. You've been sent to find out what happened to him. To the east is a large portal with 3 dormant runes above it. An excited form behind the portal beckons you closer.
I have to admit, I have not run either Black and Blue nor the quest that we ran last week on stream in a really long time. So this is a little bit of a refresher course for me on, it's like, oh yeah, right.
Starts to emit a pale glow.
I do not know when Crystal Cove will be making a comeback. I would assume it'll happen this late summer, fall. We typically do bring Crystal Cove back something around, what, September-ish for like Talk Like a Pirate Day and things. So I would assume that we would see Crystal Cove come back here in the relatively near future, but I haven't actually formally seen the calendar. Now that came up this week as well, so players really want to see us start doing a published DDO bonus calendar. And the reason we don't do that is it tends to be a very manual process right now, and oftentimes it's scheduled a few weeks ahead, but not usually much more than a week or two ahead. And we tend to sometimes change it on a whim. So the idea of having a weekly calendar would currently be like 1 or 2 entries that may or may not be accurate. So that's why I haven't done it to date. But at some point here, there's been talk about moving over to what's called a world event system. That's what the Lord of the Rings Online uses for its bonuses. The advantage of a world event system is you can schedule against it more easily and publish it and all that sort of thing. And it doesn't need to be manually done by someone every week. It'll just sort of happen automatically. The problem with the world event system is it happens automatically and requires a game build in order to update. So, there are times where, you know, that's caused a little bit of a hassle on the Lord of the Rings Online side. And we just have never set it up on the DDO side. I don't think we actually have the world event system tech in DDO. But there was a conversation, maybe this week or the week before, about bringing that to DDO to kind of, just so that no one has to manually do it every week. And so that we could make a schedule against it. And so I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't finally do that someday. It also has the minor advantage of starting at exactly the same time every time. So, like on the Lord of the Rings side, whatever is happening happens at exactly 10 a.m. Eastern on that Thursday for the most part, and then shuts off that Monday or Tuesday at exactly 3 a.m. Eastern. And that's probably what would be the case on the DDO side as well. Something like that, anyway. Oh yes, thank you. That was the other bit of news I forgot to mention, is we are on track to do a preview on Lamania next week. Stay tuned for more details about what will be in the preview. But yeah, we're set to do our third Lamania preview of update 60/61 this upcoming, well, once I'm out of combat I will double check. It's either Tuesday or Wednesday. I'll tell you in a second which one it is. I don't know if the updated DDO store is going to be on there or not. It might be, but it might not be. Alright, let me go double check. Tuesday. So yeah, next Tuesday we're set to have our third Lamania preview. And then we do have a fourth one scheduled, not for the week following, but the week after that. So roughly around August 1st, we have our, what could be one of our last Lamania previews for Vecna Unleashed and Update 61.
The far end of this chamber seems to be...
It's cut off. If summoned Shadow Blades are stuck in your reincarnation cache, then you will need to get in touch with customer support. I believe that is a very specific issue related to the summoned version of those blades that is going to require some kind of database assistance to get sorted. We have, at some point in the last couple of updates, we did a change that the summoned version of the Shadow Blades can no longer go into the reincarnation cache for that specific reason. But I no longer remember which update that was in. But if you're a returning player and you're stuck in that scenario, then yeah, you're going to have to get CS assistance for that. Oh, and actually, yeah, never mind. This way. Yeah, I got a summon Shield Guardian. I suppose I could dismiss them for the purposes of not having those footsteps on stream. Let me bring out the Scarecrow instead. Just a little backup. I don't know how many... well, Macubray, you know, when I mentioned that I wasn't able to provide details as to what was in Vecna Unleashed, that means I can't provide details about what's in Vecna Unleashed.
A dormant rune can be
So
seen in the far
you'll find
corner
out
of
more
the
information about the quest count and specifics about the expansion package and what have you when the time is right on that. But I can't break any news about that today. You will see another round of quests available for preview on Lamania this next week. No, the Lamania release notes will be released when Lamania opens on Tuesday.
Urdnoth cries, "At last I am free." I can sense that the path to the amphitheater has collapsed. Meet me near the cave-in. I will open it for you.
Oh, I appreciate the question, but I have questions. Some people in chat want to know, what's the quest count going to be? Will there be a raid? All these other things. I can't break that news today. I apologize. Okay, but tis how it is. I have not actually seen the work in progress notes for next week's Lamania yet. My belief is that since we are looking at the third preview, it's going to be iterative more than revolutionary. So I would not expect to see a ton of notes that you haven't seen to date on Lamania. A little bit more information about some other quests being available for preview, probably a few bits like that, but for the most part I wouldn't expect a lot of dramatic changes for the third preview here.
The ground rumbles and rocks shatter as Urdnoth clears the way.
Yeah, ideally summoned weapons really should never be put into a reincarnation cache because it'll break them. And now they can't be for the most part, that I understand. But if you were in an old position where you are stuck in that position, you're going to need CS assistance to get it resolved. So go to help.standingstonegames.com, submit a ticket to them there, and they should be able to sort you. Listens chart, thank you. You enjoyed this hardcore season more than some of the others. It made you learn quests you never run, like Pit and Sable. Definitely running Study and Sable back on Polanis, and we'll try to incorporate the Pit. Yeah, thanks, team. Yeah, I really like this season of hardcore as well. I think it was perhaps a little bit of an easier season than we've seen in the past, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. That's just an opportunity to get these footprints on more characters. And it was a very successful season, I think, from our end as well in terms of participation and overall enjoyment of the season. I haven't actually checked on the status of the Reaper XP in favor yet. I suppose I should do that and maybe see how we compare to seasons prior. Oh yeah, right. This is why I should have gone in on hard. My understanding of the general size of the expansion is it should be very similar to the other expansions we've done today. So nothing dramatically different related to this expansion compared to previous in terms of things like quest size, amount of content, and what have you. Whatever you're familiar with from past expansions should be very similar to what you will see this time. And we'll have more legally binding details in the near future. I am going to try to get Bulwark up. Oh, I can't because of my rage. Okay. Go. Now I'm going to park you over here this time. Bring you over here so you don't get killed right away by the dragon. Yet you can hopefully still heal me. Uh-oh. Yeah, very rainy today in Massachusetts, although sunny at the moment. But I don't have anything to announce about the updated old raid schedule for now that things have moved around a bunch, other than to acknowledge that things have moved around a bunch. And at some point, we'll have more information about what it means for any kind of additional raid work that might be taking place this year or next year, or whatever ends up happening to it. But as is often the case, you know, the January letter is an outline of things that we would like to do, but not necessarily I mean, things happen. And it ultimately comes down to, if we're going to do a producer's letter and give you speculative information, then that information may not actually happen. So that's the case that we saw here. Not to say that the raid isn't going to happen, just that it's obviously not happening in Q2, because Q2 is basically done. or whatever we say. On hardcore, I just got the 7 rewards this year. I had a busy year this year.
The black dragon
Busy
flies
summer
off,
so far
bellowing
with
for help.
my son and others, so I didn't really have a ton of time to commit to hardcore season 8 this season. But I did get all 7 pieces of the reward to get my footprints, which was really the thing that I wanted more than anything.
At the end of several aqueducts.
You might be asking why am getting DVs since I'm a barbarian, and the answer is because of this thing, my consecration. I wanted to give myself a little bit of spell points in order to do that. Oh, never mind. You shouldn't. Well, unknown Bard, if the way I'm reading it, you're saying you may or may not actually have a ticket in on the system related to those blades. Make sure that you do. If you do have a ticket, if you want to private message me on the forums that ticket number, then I can ping CS and see what's up with getting that ticket answered. Could be it was filed as a bug report or something rather than a request for CS assistance. So I'll make sure that it's in the right place and that CS will be in a position to hopefully help you. And if you don't have a ticket in with us, then, you know, submit a ticket and they'll be able to take care of it there. Depending on the nature of the fix, it might take a while because some engineer may actually have to do some manual work to populate it or fix your issue. But in terms of where I got to level 15, right? I basically just did all 7. And then the final piece of the 7 pieces of the treasure that I got was from Mirrodin Kobolds. And I did it pretty easy this year. At first I was like, well, maybe I'll hit level 20 and go for favor. So I started by like running everything on elite. But then eventually I was just like, why am I doing this to myself? I'm just gonna maybe die if I'm not careful. So I ended up getting most of my treasure pieces just on normal. And that worked out just fine. That worked out great, actually. The only ones that got a little tricky, and none of them were actually too difficult, the demon fight in Red Fens, you know, can be a little spiky in terms of damage. That was a little nerve-wracking. And then the Mirrodin Kobolds fight was a little like, am I gonna? I hope this goes okay. Except it did. It went just fine. So no real problems getting the pieces of the treasure this year. The only time I got carried, I didn't get carried through this hardcore season. But the only time I did get kind of carried is I had someone help me with the pit, because although I could learn how to do the pit on my own, I never really did. And I don't actually... I was like, well, I could... See, that's why I said don't move. Oh, I didn't say that. Oops. Well, let me fix this then. Okay, 50 seconds, that's fine. Any possibility of releasing kill stats? I don't know, just because we're really in the middle of doing a whole ton of work right now for Vecna Unleashed and the pre-purchase campaign and the updated DDO store, things like that. I don't know that we're going to have a lot of free cycles to do a data pull and then get that to you for this season of Hardcore. But it would be neat to be able to do that at some point, and perhaps that is something that we can do here in the future. I would say that the thing I saw more often than anything was Misadventure. Seems like Misadventure was the number one cause of death. Basically meaning traps. The Magma Brute in Cerulean Hills takes the cake. Well, historically, one of the first big killers is the Arcane Skeleton in Korthos, is generally one of the first big killers. And then one of the other big killers is Proof is in the Poison, although honestly, the numbers aren't super high just because a lot of people don't run Proof is in the Poison because it is kind of brutal. Alright. Alright, let me rethink this. Spirit cakes, I think, too. I am. Oh, no, I'm not. Alright, Bulwark. Over here, buddy. Alright. Well, we will clear the herd here a little bit first. It's kind of a cheap way to do it, but... Alright. I would say anything that you have heard to date regarding Vecna Unleashed is still the case, and the classic raid was never part of Vecna Unleashed. That was always intended to be at least a couple of quarters beyond the release of Vecna Unleashed. I do like this item. What can I say? I am not in a position to announce the release date of Vecna Unleashed. When the pre-purchase campaign begins, tentatively set for July 26th, that should, per usual, have the kind of release date information that you expect to see in the pre-purchase campaign page. I have not heard plans to do an updated DDO producer's letter. Perhaps that is something that we can get onto our radar when time permits. If you have claimed all of the Dragon Horde rewards, is there a reason to hold on to the Dragon Horde collectibles? No, there is not. I would suggest never getting rid of any item ever. That way I'm never proven wrong in case there ever becomes a reason to hold on to a thing. But I am not aware of any reason why you would need to hold on to those treasure items once you have claimed all of your rewards. For fun, and for collectible reasons, and to gaze longingly at them in the future would be the reason to hang on to them.
The door opens, offering refuge from Korkaza, the ancient blue dragon, and the electrified water. The cavern tunnel leads deeper into the giantish complex.
Alright. All right.
A second aqueduct stands before you. Surrounding it are stone platforms in various states of repair, as well as some small stone outcroppings. A dark and ominous shape, lightning strikes the water below, causing electricity to course through it. The ancient platform gives way, exposing water beneath it.
Oops. Ah.
The creature emits a guttural groan and collapses. This door opens into a second cavern, giving you a reprieve from the attentions of the blue dragon.
All right. Let's do this. Over here, Bulwark. Alright. Definitely in need of getting spell points and such back here. Where is... Uh-oh, where did I leave poor Frogo? You're over there? Alright. I got you, buddy. Who was my favorite NPC? I'm not actually sure I've got a good answer for that. I'd have to think about that one. I really like Fred. I'd say Fred is a strong candidate for S rank best NPC 2023. I mean, there's a couple. There's a couple. But I guess I'm still going to give it to Fred. I also, I mean, not an NPC, I guess. Well, no, non-player character. The Lord of Stone is probably up there as well as among my favorite, because the Lord of Stone's pretty great. Nibbles is up there. I like Nibbles a lot. In case you don't know, I like my idiosyncratic, I guess, people.
The smell of ozone and the crackle of sparks immediately tell you that electricity pulses through the water ahead. Stone platforms in various stages of disrepair surround the aqueduct.
Will we see future content regarding Jeet's Shimas? I don't think so. I'm not going to say never on that, but Jeet's has had plenty of opportunity to shine in the game, and my guess would be that if we were doing, I just don't see Jeet's coming back up anytime soon in terms of being a big priority for us. Maybe though, maybe at some point, but. Yeah, it is 5 o'clock here. I have other things to do. I might just kind of call this one. We'll see.
You spot a set of 3 levers with signal crystals above them.
I think I'm going to, actually. Alright, well, I got through the news here, and we'll have more probably from Lamania next week. And then the week after, a lot more information about Vecna Unleashed and beyond. So thank you everyone for joining me here today on Fridays at 4 on twitch.tv/DDOstream. Shows get archived over on YouTube as well. Hope you have a great weekend, and I'll talk to you all again soon. Bye-bye.